Okay, let us start. I got some questions and some assignments as well. So few things I might reply it immediately, or few things I might take some time because I'm occupied with some other work as well. Reply is guaranteed, but please send me all your assignments, whatever you are practicing on. And doubts and questions are also there. I'll reply to them as well. So better when you are sending any error or you're not getting the output, you better send me your WebID credentials as well with your T account. It helps me in directly logging in and checking it. Okay. Or basically the output browser console, you'll get errors. No, you can send me that screenshot as well, so I can identify what is the error. But even then, so you are in the starting. Though it is a fast track course, we are actually entered into the expert level. But as you are doing it very fast, no, you are still at the beginner level only. Thing is that the beginner level, you make mistakes, spelling mistakes. Lots of typos will be there for the freshers, not for the one who has already worked on the UEFI applications. Not for them. For those who are completely new to UEFI, you definitely see typos. That is what you will be seeing in the console of the browser as well. Okay, that is what I observed in most of the trainees. Thing is that you have to practice, that's the only thing, or you have to go with the error what you are seeing there. Okay. Uppercase, lowercase, case is also there, so you have to be very careful. And for Anil, yes. Yeah, Anil, tell me.
Suman, I was debugging a code where I was iterating some records from a table. So
Okay.
what was happening? I was trying to write the code and onto the console, and I was getting that output. But when I'm trying to execute that code, it was not giving any output. I was using for loop for iterating all the records
Yes.
of an entity set.
So I saw your email, Anil. I saw your email. So that is what in text to your email and also for others as well. So what I can do as of now, let us complete this course. Okay. So this is a fast course, as you know. This is a corporate courses. So let us complete. Tomorrow is I'll try to wind up all the things by tomorrow, our 5 o'clock time. Later on, what happens? No, you send me an email. We'll have a one-to-one discussion or one-to-one. So you show me. We'll have a screen sharing session. Those who have the doubts. Okay. So if you belong to that particular group or that particular team, so if all of you are getting the issues, no, so we'll have a screen sharing session and we'll see. Okay, for the online or the offline guys, though you are in a different location, I will see where the error is or where the issue is. That is what. Well, beginning of my told you, this actually is these sessions are actually we are entering into expert, but as this is a fast track course, you are still beginner level only. Beginner level means typos or you don't get the output, even though you copy the same code exactly line by line also, you won't see the output. So that is the errors what most of the students, not only you, I saw for past 5 years, they are having the same issues. Immediately they won't get the output. So two things will happen if they don't get the output. Psychologically you get depressed. Emotionally also you get weak. Okay, your friend is getting the output, you are not getting the output. So this is the major issue what I noticed. Okay, so don't lose hope. I am there with you. Starting this. So when you enter into the intermediate level, then what happens? You all these issues. Okay, output you'll be getting. You are also getting the output whatever on the table data or whatever you can get. Still more, little bit more like using different controls. Okay, like drop down control, all those things. You might get little bit problems at that time when you are in the intermediate level of your practicing stage. Okay. So I think at that time you don't need my help. I see most of the students. So when they cross the beginner level, when they enter into intermediate level, they don't require my help, but they think logically. Then at that time, when you enter into intermediate level, you have your own conditions or you have your own requirements. You think if I do like this, what happens? If on the table, if I do like that, what happens? So all these things you will enter into the intermediate level only. All this what I'm telling. So in the beginner level, no, I can say one thing: don't lose hope. You'll be getting the output. Okay. And most of the students I observed, it is not a joke. Like around night 2 o'clock, you'll get the output. We don't know why. Okay, this is also what I observed. Because you don't lose hope now, and we are Asians, we don't lose hope. At night, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, you get the output. Immediately, you send a message, sir, I got the output now. So I'll say, okay, good night. So it's what it happens with most of the students as well. So starting 1-2 weeks, it will be a little bit nightmare for you if you are practicing regularly. But don't lose hope, okay? You troubleshoot all the errors, whatever first you fix all the errors. Syntax error, typo errors, all those things. Okay. And you can ask me why this happens. This happens because on the day one, you did not practice. Day one, I told you about the format of the controls, both JSON format and XML format. Okay. If you have practiced that a lot, today you will not see any errors, because I can show you some emails where they, in the console, they'll send me the error, but I clearly find out what is the error there. Okay. The name of the checkbox might be the name of the column or the table. So they make it little bit reverse and try to enter the typos by mistake when they are typing, and they are unable to figure out. For your eyes, it looks the same. Okay. But for the system, they cannot understand. WebID cannot understand when you make any typos. It strictly follows API reference. That is the major issues again. And those are ABAPers I told you, know. So uppercase, lowercase, casing is there. So you should be very careful about the casing. So anytime if you are getting error in the console about that particular control, copy and paste it in the API reference, see why you are getting that error, and try to, you are typing only, you get the code assistance there itself. Okay. Second thing, table control is there. You keep it as a snippet, like you copy paste whatever table control is. Don't try to type it. Columns, cells, items. Okay, column list item. Don't type it. Most of the time I am telling, don't type it. Try to copy paste from my WebID. That is also I used to tell here. Anyhow, we'll move into the next session. Next topic is we'll try to have a graph. Okay, previously what session we ended? Okay, we applied the formatters using the both custom formatter functions and also expression bindings. Okay. Again, the same thing. You have to follow my guidelines. Practice a lot with the custom formatter functions. Not that sir did that using expression bindings. I'll also do it. If you do it, no, you get cornered with lots of errors when you type this one, and you will be wasting a lot of time debugging here itself. It takes some time or expertise for you to type it and see the output. So as of now, you have to just copy paste the code whatever I given for the expression binding. So whenever I say copy paste, no, you copy paste that code. Right? So you have to have a strategy of how you can move further. I'll tell you tomorrow how you need to practice it. Don't directly jump from table control or to directly expression binding and try to apply it. Try to follow the same sessions whatever I discussed. Okay, so now I'll explain you the graphs, how to have the graphs with the data. So then I'll have all the topics whatever we covered from the day one. So you just memorize whatever we did. So you follow that particular strategy and try to practice it when you enter into the intermediate level. Okay, when you're in the intermediate level, without seeing if you can do all these things, then you're ready for the next challenge, entering into the expert mode. So it takes at least 2 weeks or 3 weeks time. Okay, by end of December, you will be perfect if you daily practice it. That is what I'm telling you. Not during this weekend you are becoming a perfect developer, and you without never had that magic in any of the 5 years career of students' life. It will take time. Okay, don't lose hope and don't get disappointed if you're not getting output. Immediately again, don't send me screenshots, sir, it is not coming. Okay, first try to troubleshoot it. If you are exhausted with all the solutions, then only, sir, this is not coming. Then I can help you. This is what you are. And when you are entering into the intermediate level or expert mode, at that time when you are showing some code and you will be explaining to me, sir, why is this not getting refreshed, or what is this kind of thing? At that time you should understand what I'm telling you. Okay. At that time I just use OData model, JSON model, and that is equal to this. At that point you cannot ask me, sir, why are you using that is equal to this? Because we have crossed all that stage when we are explaining, or when I'm explaining you things like logical things. And again, at the same time, I'm not that much expert, though I am going through all this. It's a big ocean. Lots of things are coming in. Fine. So few things like nowadays smart tables are becoming famous. few other things are also becoming famous. I'm maintaining a YouTube channel, so I'll give you that link. So in that you'll be getting all the latest updates of whatever topics I'll be using, and we can communicate even through that channel as well. Okay, any discussions you want, anything more you want to add it, you can let me know so that I can include that in the next corporate training if we have any. So now let us try to populate this data as a graph. Working with graphs. So simple graphs, I'll tell you, where you want to show the data to the business client. Most of the business clients might be interested in the graphs like line graph, bar graph, heat map, bullet graph. So these are the graphs which you can show the data on. So graphs are termed as visualization. Visualization, V, I, and Z. V, I, Z. So the graphs are placed in the viz frame charts in the samples of demo kit. Viz frame charts. Graphs are placed in the viz frame charts in the samples of demo kit. Charts are guided by flattened data set control. Flattened data set control. So control means it will be having a namespace and it will have the properties, aggregations, events, methods, all those things. So let me go into the demo kit. I want you also to open the demo kit because you have to copy paste the code. We don't write any code for the graphs. Copy paste the code. And we should be on the same page whenever I'm asking you to copy or paste the code. Go into the API reference, flattened data set. So it is under sap.viz.ui.data.flattened data set. That is the namespace for the flattened data set. In the aggregations, if you see, data, dimensions, measures. So if you go through this flattened data set and try to apply without any knowledge, it will take at least 1 week of time, okay, to have a knowledge on all these things. Trainers will show you shortcut paths. Quickly, copy paste the code and see the output. Fine. Now, when you are seeing a graph, so graph has an x-axis. Sure. Oh, yeah. X-axis is guided by the dimensions aggregation, dimensions. X-axis is guided by the dimensions. Dimensions, SIONS. And y-axis is guided by measures. Measures, dimensions, measures. And I want to show any graph, a bar graph or a line graph or a waterfall model. So this is guided by the data which you have to feed into this particular graph. Dimensions, measures, and data. Flattened data set is a control which guides all the graphs. So this one series you can have okay. Now have the x-axis and price on the y-axis. Okay, so we'll have a one series graph. Assignment, I'll give you two series. Just have to copy a simple code. So I want to see even the width also as a second series. One series I'll show you. Two series you can have as assignment. Now, earlier, like 3 years back, we used to write the code by making use of the flattened data set in the controller. Okay. In the XML, we try to show the presentation logic and the graph, but that concept is deprecated. Now, all the things flattened data set along with dimensions and measures, we are trying to write the code in the view only. Okay. Here in the controller, we just set the second step, bind the level is there. If you remember, bind the level. This dot get view dot by id dot set model. Okay, we're only using the single line of code to set the data to this graph. That's the only thing. Okay, question for why is you can understand when you practice, when you're in the expert mode, why they deprecated that earlier kind of thing. There you can understand. Okay. Because now when I'm writing the code, all the XML view code I'll copy into our view. Controller code is very simple. Just you need to make the titles or this x-axis or y-axis. Okay, this one you need to make them visible. That's the only thing. Visible colon true will come. So I'll show you that also. Okay, right now. Solve. So, with the starts 35 double column line. So those things I'll tell you. few other things. If you get requirement, you please be on same page. Go to the samples, Viz frame charts, click on the line graph. So here you are seeing the graph, line graph. So one series and two series. Okay. One series is with product ID and price. We'll see. Create a line graph for the product ID for the SAP product set data with product ID on x-axis and price on y-axis. So we'll have a fragment, we'll have a checkbox, how we did for the show supplier data. So those who are done writing, so create a fragment, create a first a checkbox on the view. So here let us have a checkbox after the supplier data. At least now you should be a little bit comfortable opening the view and writing the checkbox control, or you can copy paste the code, supplier data code. ID check 2, text. Underscore line. The other graphs also. Line graphs. Waterfall. So we should be ready with the code and table code, coded model. You copy that code like this. Show line graph, bar graph, or you can have a select control also. Okay, select control. Fine. I'll show you how to convert it to bar or waterfall. It's very easy. Earlier, I told you which was deprecated. It was very difficult to convert the graphs, but it was made very easy with the conversion into the views. Need to get the fragment that is required. Okay, so those are done. You can copy this underscore line graph to the controller worklist dot controller dot js. Always follow the guidelines I'm telling you. That's all. So in the starting stage days, you might be lazy doing all these things, but it must be done religiously. So the code, okay. Checkbox, no. So let us have an O event. Checkbox, no. So earlier, if you remember, O event checkbox. So you need to read the value of that checkbox. Get parameter. O event dot get parameter of selected. I hope. So I'll just check it. Selected. Okay. Starting days, you try to copy paste that selected from the API reference. Blindly, if you type it, you might make mistakes. I saw wrote the S capital uppercase. So those are logical errors. Even framework or WebID cannot identify that it should be in the uppercase or lowercase. It can identify this one, method naming convention, get parameter. If you write G uppercase, it will catch you. But if you write something wrong inside this parameter values, it cannot catch.
उन्होंने आपके कॉल को होल्ड पर रखा है. कृपया लाइन पर बने रहिए. The person you are speaking with has put your call on hold. Please stay on the line. आप जिस व्यक्ति से बात कर रहे हैं, उन्होंने आपके कॉल को होल्ड पर रखा है. कृपया लाइन पर बने रहिए. The person you are speaking with has put your call on hold. Please stay on the line. आप जिस व्यक्ति
Open the fragment. Here you have to close the fragment. That in the fragment you will see. Already if the folder is there, fragments folder. Inside that, you can create a new file. Right click on the fragment, new file. Let us say linegraph.fragment.xml. For other graphs like bar graph or the waterfall, so create those many fragments. Okay, I want you all to create those also, other files also as assignment.
So we can create the graph in a simple UI application also, right?
We'll discuss. Answer the question and tell you.
We can create this graph in simple UI, we can create this graph in simple UI application also, right?
Simple. First template.
Simple UI application, which we select. Yeah.
You can do anywhere. You can
So
do.
currently we okay.
The fragment creation or graph creation is independent of the templates. Just to follow the steps anywhere, normal template, SAP application template or worklist template or master details template, anywhere you can show the data in the graphical format. Okay, so
Okay.
linegraph.fragment.xml. So the fragment code I told you, just copy paste the fragment code. Okay, now we have to on line. Okay, so this is the closure of the fragment on line OK. Please don't type the fragment code. Kindly copy paste the fragment code from your previous application. I'll use this to close the fragment. So if all are on the same page, I'll just wait for 1 more minute to copy all these things and be ready. We have to copy the code from the demo kit for the graph. Line frag is the variable. From here only you should start the code. This dot line frag sap dot ui dot xml fragment this dot get view dot get id the path to the fragment and pointing to itself. Path to the fragment I'll copy it from the previous penny. There here. Dot line this dot get view dot add dependent of this dot line graph frag. So check if the object is created. Not created, then created. If created, open it. Then close it. Checkbox is there now. Very check 2 I think. No? So whenever you are copying the copy the ID, don't type it. You make a lot of mistakes also. Copy it. So once you are done with the fragment, first try to open and close it. To minimize the errors, you open the fragment and close the fragment and see whether the fragment is working or not. Then only you start writing the code. Not working. So check it in the console. Always console will help you. If it is a flash with the IDs. firing the event. Did not match something. Okay, parameter selected. If it does not open, let us put a breakpoint and see. Let us put a breakpoint. Wait. Ending is found. No, the checkbox is on there, no? Let us see. Okay, so let us move further. So are you ready with the fragment? Okay. Now go to the line graph.fragment.xml and keep this ready. And the demo kit, keep it ready. So you have to go into the this frame charts, go to the line graph on the right top right side, show source code for this sample. Show source code for this sample. First, we need 3 namespaces from the top. XMLNS Viz. This XMLNS Viz. You copy that on the top, onto the top of this XML namespace Viz. Contains sap.viz.uefi.controls. Copy it slowly. Next, copy the viz.data xmlns:viz.data and copy the feeds xmlns:viz.feeds. So these 3 are very important. Then now in the line graph, search for the viz frame and copy all the start and the end of till the end of that. Viz frame, end of the viz frame. Viz frame, the end of that. Copy that between the content of your fragment. So your viz frames to viz frame where you copy must contain the feeds, dimensions and measures with the 2 series. Dimensions means which axis? X-axis, and measures is y-axis. Feeds also are important. Now let us change a few things here. So here the data is milk and week revenue. Fine. So what we need? We need product ID and price. Okay. So what we will do? Just we'll copy the product ID here to the dimension definition. Product ID and the product ID. In the place of week, in the dimension definition, change it to product ID. Done. Slowly change it. We need a reference also. We'll take it from the controller. The revenue and cost, remove this or comment this cost. That is 2 series. No, I want to give that as assignment. When it is taken as assignment, you make it as width. Okay, the one what I have highlighted for the measure definition commented. So you uncomment that when you are doing the assignment and populate that with the width. That revenue you remove it and make it price. product ID and price. Revenue, it must be price. Again, the same thing what you have changed here. Week you replace with product ID, revenue with price. Same thing you do it here also without any binding. For the measures, revenue, change it to price, and for the week, change it to product ID. Please be very, very careful here. It is reverse. Measure is there, dimension is there. This must have written on the top. X axis, Y axis. For the category axis dimension, the values is product ID. The measure is price. We have to remove that milk, and in the tables we have items attribute, so that we have the reference. So that reference will write it there. So milk is there, remove that milk. Let that slash be there. Remove that milk. You observe the this type to line, and this ID frame. All this we have to set in the controller. You remember how we did for the drop down control, dynamic select control. For the to the table control, we set the data. The dynamic select control, we set the data in on it function in the success. If you remember, let me show you the. So we are done till here. We can go to the controller code. Save all. Now go to the worklist.controller.js. Hope you are done with the fragment. Graph, copy paste, and the rename or change data, week to product ID, and revenue to price. Both on the top, in the data set, also here under the fields. I hope you are done till here. Go to the controller. Go to the controller where we have the open the fragment. After that, open. Set the data to this frame. So this code also you copy paste from the controller of the line graph. Go back to the line.controller.js. XML, you have copied that viz frame. Okay. There is a controller file here, line.controller.js. Here scroll down, in the onIt function, you are going to see something like var o viz frame, line number 83, var o viz frame. To copy the whole code till line number 108. Copy all the code 83 to 108. to 108. Copy it back here. Plot area, value axis, category axis, title. Okay, these are nothing to do with the data. It is only whether you want to show the plot area, the value axis name, the category axis name is title, all those things. So few things you remove it. In the plot area, in the data label, you remove the format string. In the value axis, remove the one what I'm highlighting. Title must be true. So when you are removing, please be very careful. Don't disturb the JSON pattern. Curly brace to curly brace. Category access. Title visible true. Title visible true. Text product ID versus price. So when you remove all the spaces here, you must be seeing something like this. If you are getting any errors, you revert all those changes. Control Z. Most of you might, by when you are deleting it or commenting it, you might make some mistakes. It must follow a JSON pattern. It is end of O with stream. I hope you are done till here. Clear? So if you see in this line, O with frame, the variable is created. This dot O with frame. You can remove this dot O with frame. This dot get view dot by ID. Okay. Dot set model of a JSON model with a reference. We want that. Okay. This dot get view dot by ID dot set model. Definitely, this is the second step. Second step. Bind the model. Okay. So we used to write the JSON model reference, comma, reference. This is 105 line, remember. Let me go into the onInit function. In the onInit function, inside the success, we used to write this code. This dot getView dot byId dot set model. JSON model reference with the reference. Remember? Okay. Now I need to carry this data till there, till the 108 line. Okay. But best way is that let me take another JSON reference, JSON model reference, make it global. Okay. So what I'll do here, go back to your onInit function for the SAP products you do. Don't do for Northwind or OData. If you have a separate this SAP products, do it here. So global variable declaration, this dot JSON model graph is equal to new JSON model. So somebody asked me like, can I use the already existing table data? So this is the procedure. On the third day or fourth day they asked me. So this is the procedure how you can reuse the data whatever is there. Instead of again creating the OData model, all these steps of writing there on top of the 108 line, we can just take JSON model global. Here you are setting the data. So you even set the data. So how can I set the data? What you're telling is correct, but I just want some correction. Only what you are telling is correct. But that won't work on inside. You need hints. That dot JSON model graph dot set data. So when you are practicing, you practice like that. Okay. That dot JSON model graph dot set data. You write this dot JSON model graph inside success. This won't work. Okay, you know that framework does not know. When you execute it, you won't get error, but at the debugging point, you get the error. That is not defined. This is not defined inside. Okay. Now, global reference that dot JSON model dot graph. This contains all the values now. All the values which are there in the OData. Okay, we are setting all the values. There are here. So I'm going to let's say breakpoint at 20, not this one. Okay, and you're carrying all the values. Those values you are carrying it forward to the 108th line. Here dot set model of this dot JSON model graph. You type it on, get that to make different code assistant. Show it in the light data. You press the different graph, line graph, any reference. Now this reference you have to copy back to the this frame, okay, which we have copied it, so that we are populating the data. Go back here, now copy like this. LG greater than. Same thing, you copy it to the binding also. Binding. save all, try to go to the output and see whether you're getting the graph or not. If anything you're not getting, come back and we'll change it. It might say sometimes no data or dimensions data missing or measures data missing. So all those things you can handle it. You can place the breakpoint or you can just check that. So you should be seeing this graph. So lots of things are customizable here, but you have to drill down and see all those things in the API reference. Till here, I know and we use it for the graph to show it to the end user. So most of you might, if you not properly binded or followed my guidelines, you might get no data or dimensions data missing or measures data missing. Okay, those kind of errors you will generally get. Again, I told you, beginner level. If you are directly getting this data, thank you, yourself. Check that in the console. You're not getting anything here. Just go back to the inspect console. Definitely there will be errors. Simple errors you can troubleshoot. So check. You might be getting error here at this point. So you revert the code and see. Slowly you do it one by one. I'm keeping the fragment code like this. I'll keep the fragment code like this. Okay, let us go to the view. Check the view. Don't change anything here. Don't change anything here. Only binding must be here. Reference must be here. Those who are not getting, try to again visit this and try to check the code. Assignment. Show two series with the width and the price. Okay, the answer to your question, you asked like, can't we take the same graph? No. So here, if I want to display waterfall model, so another graph is there. So if I want to display the waterfall model, so go and check the waterfall model or bar graph. So you can see bar here. In the viz type, I told you in the XML. In the XML, there is a viz type. You just need to change that from line to bar. So I'll change the line to bar, and if everything is perfect, we are going to see the bar graph here. So it works for other 4 or 5 graphs, but not for pi or some other things. Donut, you have to implement. You can see the bar graph here. Okay. So I want you to create another fragment. Everything same code. Okay. Just the IDs must be changed because same IDs cannot be used. And then here this type, make it bar. Okay. In the bar graph fragment. Similarly, waterfall model, heat map. Okay. Series with width and price, and also show bar, line, column, waterfall, heat map using price, product ID versus price. Let us quickly revise what we have learned till now in the UI5. So when we come from the day one, we started with our intro to UI5, intro to the SAP UI5 demo kit with the JSON format of the controls and XML format of the controls, focusing mainly on those two things. So the JSON format, you can write where o text is equal to new sap.m.text. Hope you remember this one. If it is in the XML format, we have to write less than text and that properties whatever are there, and every control has a properties, events, methods, functions, aggregations. Okay, aggregations means child controls. Fine. For every property you have set and get method. For every event you have attach and detach event. Clear? Then we started introduction to the WebID tool, and then we had some OData, public OData services like Northwind, OData test, and SAP. On the SAP products, we tried to configure the part 1 in the SAP HCP under destinations. Okay, we configured the part 1. Part 1 means the host name and port number in the SAP HCP. Okay, and part 2 we are using in our WebIDE controller code. It's our OData model, then where JSON model, then and using OData model read method, we have consumed the entity set along with the what functions inside it. success, which takes two parameters OData and response, and error if the OData is not coming up because of the server failure or network kind of problems, you won't get that. In the error, it will be captured. With that data, what you are shown on the table, using the table control, we have applied filters, filter 1, filter 2, and in the filter we had all the combinations, and or between starts with that assignment I gave you. Okay, so we did that using the filters. Then yeah, to have the reference data, reference entity sets data, we had used the expand URL parameters. With the expand $expand colon with the entity sets there. Entity set referenced. Any number of entity sets you can make use of. Fine. So with this, we have implemented different filters using the buttons and using the drop down controls. Drop down controls, the select control. So select control, we saw the static select, where key plays the major role in the view, and the code in the controller is not only this by id dot get selected key. This played a major role in the dynamic selector. We need to we don't have any authority on the key, then we depended upon the text property of the select control. Okay, to get the value of that, then we have to depend on the parameters. Get the parameter of the parameter value. So we have to depend on this to listen to get the value of that select control, radio button or checkbox. Okay, selected item is for the select control, selected for the checkbox and radio button. Okay, you can just go through all your notes and put a tick mark. After this, the requirement, any value I select in the select control, I need to populate that to the table control. Okay, any value I selected, it got populated. Then any row I want to read from the table, okay, that is made possible with the binding context code. Anybody remember the code? O-event dot get source dot get binding context dot get property of the metadata. Everything is in the notes. Okay, I'll come there and I'll show you. Fine. Next. So any row I selected, that values got populated on the standard dialog box, message box. Okay, that is a standard dialog box. Next, I want to make use of a customized dialog box, or I want to separate the presentation logic. In both the cases, I made use of a global view, which is called as a fragment. Okay, so to invoke a fragment from the view, and you know all the concepts of fragment. Okay, to invoke the fragment from the view, we made use of a variable this dot get this dot x equal to sap dot ui dot xml fragment, and all the three parameters will go into it. 1, 2, and 3. Last one is this dot get view dot add dependent of this dot x. Okay, you have to first see whether this is opened or not. If the object is created, if not this dot x, then create the object. If it's already there, then open the object. And in the close method, you write that close when you trigger any event from the fragment. Finally, we saw the supplier data on the fragment, and also the line graph. Also on the fragment. So this is what we learned till date. Okay. Now we are using the third-party services data to learn the UFA topics. Now we try to create our own OData services in the backend. Here, so this is all the backend now. Generating OData services using NetWeaver Gateway Service Builder tool. So most of you might be having the knowledge on this Gateway Builder tool. This is only for the startups, newbies, okay? Completely new. They does not know anything about this tool. I'm explaining you in a very layman terminology, not in depth. Only we'll have a customized table, simple employee table, okay? So that everybody can understand, and only simple things of performing the CRUD operations and trying to generate the OData services and consume that OData services into our web IDE and perform the CRUD operations and place the app on the Fury Launchpad using Fury Designer. Forthcoming sessions. So in the regular gateway service builder 2, in the T code, completely new. It might look, I'll take a very simple table which I have created. System access will be given on a limited basis. So HR will be sending the access. So I have a Yash system, Yash Fury system. Let me log into it. In the SC11, I have a simple table, the EMP99, which has this EMP ID, EMP name, designation, height date, and terminated, which are of char type, and one is DAX type. Data is there here. Equivalent to this, for performing the CRUD operations, I made use of 4 RFCs. The SC37, I have the 4 RFCs. SC11, label is EMP ID, EMP name, EMP designation, EMP ID date, I use the RFCs as mediators here. For the CRUD operations, create, retrieve, update, and delete. Create Z EMP99 underscore. Create Z EMP99 underscore. Query read for retrieving the data. Z EMP9 underscore. Update. Z EMP9 underscore. Delete. These are the 4 function modules which I have created. Create uses the insert command, retrieve for select command, update for update command, delete for the delete command on the SQL database. So I'll quickly check this working of the function modules before entering into the tool. First Z EMP99 underscore query read. So this reads the values here. So 5 values. Just now we saw. Query is working fine. Read operation, I'll pass 1000. Read operation also working fine. I got a single record. Create operation. 1005 record 1005 dash right. That is working fine. Update. The same 1005 and update the data. Add some lines here. Change the date also. Update is working fine. Finally, the delete. 30% only. Primary key to be passed. Okay, so all is good. So all the 4 RFCs are working fine. So I'll map this RFCs into the SEGW. Map the above RFCs to SEGW CRUD operation and generate code data services. Okay. So let us go into the SEGW. So those are completely new to the tool. So this is the first front face of the gateway service builder tool. Okay. So on the already existing applications, let me open this one and show you. So you have under the project you have 4 folders and a file is there here. Okay. In the hub environment, this file forms a link for registering the service onto the front end server. Hope you guys might know about the hub environment. Okay. Fine. So this I'll explain that also. So there are 4 folders and a file icon here. Okay. So let me expand this. Okay, those are completely new. I told you, no, just anything important you can take it. I term this as a screen 1, where you are going to develop the project, OData project, create and register OData service. So here on the topmost part, data model, here you are going to create the entity types and the entity sets. Entity type creation and the entity set creation will be done on the topmost data model folder. Okay. For every entity set, we are going to perform the CRUD operations. It is taken care in the service implementation. Okay. This is the second part. So first you have to go with the data model or the entity type, entity set creation. Then you have to move with the service implementation part. In this, again, the order is first we have to perform the query operation, then we have to perform the read operation, then move on with the create, update, and the delete operation. So here either you can map the RFCs or you can make use of the OOPS ABAP coding. There is a workbench provided for all these operations. You can redefine all the methods for that particular operation. And all the configurations, whatever you do here on the top, first and second, so those will be converted to your ABAP classes, and they are stored inside the runtime artifacts in the form of what? MPC and DPC classes. MPC for model provider class and its extension MPC underscore extension, and DPC data provider class and its extension. Then once you are done with all the CRUD operations, then you have to register the service. Register the service. So when you register the service, it gets registered in the SICF T code used for maintaining or registering the or activating or deactivating the services. So those not done, just take a screenshot. Online WebEx participants can take a screenshot. If you know this, just ignore. Okay. So this is the first screen where you are going to create the service and perform the CRUD operations and register the service. Then there is two more screens which are called as maintain and activate screen and SAP gateway client screen. This is screen 3. So just term it as screen 2 and screen 3 for maintain. Screen 2 for maintain or add a service. This resides in the ABAP frontend server in the hub environment /n/iwfnd/service. Finally, screen 3 to test the service. Okay, it is the SAP gateway client for testing the service. We'll quickly create the project now. New project. I'll just write C yash EMP99. Go data for the EMP99. So there are two ways. Right click on the data model, import RFC. Directly can import the RFC. I'll go a little bit lower version. I'm right clicking on the entity types, create entity type name, and I'll give EMP, and automatically the entity set will be created by the framework, and you will have the entity sets created and ready for the CRUD operations here. Okay, so before moving further, here in the entity sets, EMP set, double click on that and make this addressable. So that I told you that this entity set will be addressable in the web ID template customization. Okay, in the data binding for the work list template customization, we have data binding in the object collection uh, name in there. In the drop down, we have to see the EMP set. Unless until you don't do this, your EFI developer cannot see the entity set there. Okay, addressable section. Next, properties. Properties, double click on the properties. So I'll create all the 5 properties here based on the fields what we have collected. This one, EMP ID, EMP name. So let me use the same thing as it is. It is a key field, and the EDM data type is EDM.string. So creatable, yes, you can create a primary key. It's a new record. Updatable. Can you update a primary key? No, not updatable. Primary key can be sortable. Can it be nullable? No. Can you filter on the primary key? Yes, filterable. Similarly, for the name, EDM.string, creatable, updatable, sortable, nullable, filterable. EMP designation, EM.string, creatable, updatable, sortable, nullable, EMP mandate. So I'll take this as a date time. Okay. I will force it to use the ABAP type. Okay. It's not. I'm forcing the field to use the ABAP type. So I'm using explicit assignment and the internal type with the date type. So we should not do that, but we are doing all the EF applications for the SAP only. So it might not bother a lot, but that violates our responsive behavior. Next, EMP terminated, EDM dot date, EDM dot 6, which converts to the ABAP classes. I hope that most of the modules that are very fast. So does not just when you get access to videos, you watch that and do it. You need to get fast because most of you might be doing this. Okay, CRUD operations. I'm mapping the CRUD operations. I start with the query operation. Okay, right click on the query, get entity set, map to data source, remote function call, and this is the RFC for both query and read. So query, we are reading all the records from the database. So from the RFC. Drag and drop the RFC fields onto the properties which we have created. The arrow mark what you are seeing shows that how the direction will be from the RFC towards the properties. That means onto the browser, you are reading all the values. For the read operation, we are sending one primary key to the database. Again, we are collecting all the other values. Next, create. Sometimes this map button will work for propose mapping. Okay, finally the delete operation. Okay. Next, register the service. Okay, so when I register the service, it gets activated in the SICF. At the same time, we are going to get the path also. Okay, to the service. Right click on the file icon, register. So this is the service name what it has given. And now it gets registered in the SICF. In the hub environment, your SICF resides in the ABAP front-end server or network system. So if you search with this service name, you are going to get the path of this. This is the service. You are going to get the path here. So this is part 1. This is part 2. So the system is configured in our web IDE. Hope you know this. From here you can start our query operations. This operates all the records. So this is the query operation, read operation also we can get. And we can test the service. The SAP Gateway client will now be redirected to the selected system. So in the hub environment, you have to provide the IP address if it is not automatically connected. Now this is the embedded system. You have now the network system and the tool resided in only one system. So you are going to use the same system itself. So this is screen 3. We are going to see the execute entity sets and add URI option on the top. EMP set. We have selected the EMP set. Add URI option. You can add it to get the queries. So we can read all the records here. Next, you have to read a single record. It is read operation. Okay. The main buttons here we are using is execute, entity sets, add URI option, and based on the operation, query or read operation, which we are doing on the right side for testing the service. So we have it. So for query and for read operation, it is used. It is used. For create operation, you have to use the post method of HTTP. Update, put method, it is deleted. Query, then we have to read a single record. With a single record, we have to use the template to the left side for creating the record. So we have to make use of the use as request button, query, then read, then use as request button, then let's perform other operations here. Create, update, delete. Use a new. You can take a screenshot for this. So we are testing the service here. If it is working fine, then we can use that in our web IDE for performing the CRUD operations. Let us have a single record. Let us say 1000 here. I will read a single record. Now The things are important here. Please make a note. So this is the read operation. This is the read operation. Query and the read operation, HTTP method for our UEFI is important. Is the get method, and in the request URI, we are passing the EMP set directly. So in the UI5, the equivalent method is, what is the equivalent method? OData model dot read. For create, you have to use the button user request to send the request to the left side. Method is post method, and you have to remove the request URI. You have to remove the key from the request URI for testing the post operation. Create HTTP method is post request URI EMP set UI5 will be OData model dot create with all the success function, everything will be there. Let me create a record. Now, print. I think it's not there. Let me get 1009. Click on execute. You must get 2xx on the right side. Anything with 2xx is created. So a record is created, and check that in the table. Record is created. Update. Again, I'm reading all the records. Update the record which you want to update. 1009 I want to update. So read only that record. Put is the method. HTTP method. Put request URI. You should not remove the suffix inside it. Suffix means the primary key. You should pass the primary key as it is. Update only the other than primary key, you can update anything. Execute return 2xx, it's access. Checking the table, it's updated, it's also working fine. Equivalent Wi-Fi will be OData model dot update. Basically, on the update only, we'll set a deletion flag to true so that the records won't be shown. Physically, we won't delete it, but in case physical deletion you want, yes, physical deletion of this record. So delete the record which you want by making use of the delete operation. Okay, delete. HTTP method is delete and request URI. Don't remove the suffix as you did for the update. It will fix this. Wi-Fi code will be OData model dot remove. response is not guaranteed in the delete operation, the remove operation for our verify, because the record will be deleted forever. On. Show the EMP99. Now everything is ready. Service is ready. We have to consume this service into web ID. Show the ZEMP99 by consuming this service. So we'll just consume the service. More we'll see the current operations on that. We'll try to consume the service. It takes 2 minutes. System is already configured in the web IDE. So once you get the user, you can work with them, work with or create your own OData services. So we'll have a table here. So consuming the services into web ID, right click on the application, new OData service. So this time on-premise systems are made public. So we need to make use of the service catalog. Service catalog. The service catalog, the system is configured. Yash OD. So you have to enter your user ID, SAP ID here. And search for the service. Want to take this or you are aware of this? Anybody else want? So just we are making enough similarly how we are doing on the service. We're exhausted. Will we continue tomorrow?